episode 23 of From Then to Now, the TEW 2020 save, where we take the World Wrestling Federation from 1992 and we try and hit the modern day. My name is Phantom TEW. If you like this content, make sure you do hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. We're going to try and hit 10 likes on this video because we've not hit that in a little while, and I want to see if we can do it. I think we can. So hit that thumbs up, and if you enjoy this show. We've got the Go Home show for Saturday night's main event 30. And if we look at the stuff we've announced for this show, we've got the debut of Kama. We have got the elimination, the safety match for the Maggots, the last chance match between Jeff Jarrett and Sean Morley. Plus, we're obviously continuing our build to the big six-man tag between the Horsemen and Hogan, Hart and the Warrior. And a tag team match at Saturday night's main event between the High Voltage team and the Miracle Violence Connection. I'm excited for this show. If we look back at the last Saturday night main event, the last pay-per-view, it was Bret Hart versus Steve Williams in the main event of that one. So I think this show should be pretty good because we're not going to have any John Nord, Max Moon stuff on this, although they're going to be quite important in the next coming months. I'm going to tell you that for nothing. Quick disclaimer before we start. I'm just going to drag this screen down and the bottom will go off screen. You may notice there's no picture here. And that is because I wanted to change to a GIF picture pack. I've got the stables all set up. I've got their pictures all downloaded from different sources. And I was excited to start on this picture pack. So I turned it on before I recorded this episode. And I went through all the roster, changing their pictures over to GIF format. Not noticing. Can't get onto company info. So I can't change this. So for a lot of them, they're going to have weird backgrounds in their pictures. I will fix it before Saturday night's main event. But I just thought I'd give you the disclaimer first. So where are we holding this show? Well, for the first time since WrestleMania, we are back in New York, baby. Well, Uniondale, New York. We're in the tri-state area. Hasn't been destroyed yet, no matter what Doofenshmirtz says. But, first time since Mania, last time we were here was in the Carrier Dome. I'm excited for this. I hope you guys are too. Let's get into the Go Home show. And yeah, this is what I mean about the backgrounds. They've got their GIF photo in, but there's nothing surrounding it, so it looks quite funny. But we got, ladies and gentlemen, your opening match is a tag team match pitting the Horsemen against the team of Hulk Hogan and Bret Hart. And the Ultimate Warrior, actually. Shit, I can't remember. One of them, it's two of the Hogan team versus two of the Horsemen. Gets a 59 rating. Ooh, a little spoiler. And I just gave you a little teaser spoiler there. And we get a promo with the four Horsemen, which we've got JJ Dillon, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, and Lex Luger. They cut a promo talking about how they are the best. They are the greatest thing to happen to the World Wrestling Federation. The past, the present, and the future of wrestling all tied up in one faction. Gets a 74 rating because it's JJ Dillon, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, and Lex Luger on promos. It's gonna be good. We know this. And that leads straight into their match. And it was Warrior who was wrestling, but he gets an 84 rating as the Horseman team pick up the win when Shawn Michaels pins the Ultimate Warrior with sweet chin music. Goes 12 minutes. It's a big time match. Like, part of me is, like, I know what other matches are coming, but there's also a part of me which, like, this probably should have main evented. This is the biggest match. I know we've got the Intercontinental title match in the main event between Bret Hart and the Mountie, but let's be honest. I think we need to keep the Intercontinental title serious. It's like, got to think, the IC title match main event, Saturday night main event, over the Hogan Warrior tag team match. But a 74 for Warrior, 85 for Hogan, 77 for Michaels, and a 94 for Flair. Great work all around. I'm excited. We then get a promo from the Hart family, or the first family. Look at that, they've got graphics. And it's the Hart family talking about their victory last week. And how they've proven that they are the strongest unit in WWF. Screw the Horsemen. Screw the Smoking Guns. Screw Hogan's crew. I mean, it's not like either of the boot camps give us any trouble. We are the strongest group in WWF. And basically, they get attacked from behind by Earthquake and Typhoon. And I can't remember if this is announced later, but that is going to be our third match on the main show of Saturday night's main event. We're going to have the Maggot match on the pre-show. We're going to have Natural Disasters versus the Nasty Boys, because technically they haven't had a singles match which has ended definitively yet. They haven't really ended their feud. We're going to have the 6-man tag, and we're going to have the tag team title match. That's going to be the card for Saturday night main event. Plus, obviously, post-show matches to keep the crowd happy. 63 rating, though. A little bit of a fun segment here. It's a segment which I've been building to for a while, and this is where we're actually going to start the storyline a bit. Iron Sheik is backstage beating down another backstage hand. At this point, it's Steve Armstrong, who we are using as a backstage hand rather than an in-ring talent at this point. And he gets interrupted by Bob Backlund. Bob Backlund comes in, hits Sheik from behind, and sends him running away. Backlund helps Armstrong to his feet. And this is the first time we've seen Backlund in a while. And he just ends the segment helping up Steve Armstrong, looking away at the distance where Sheik's just ran off to. And we get our first boot camp singles match. And it's Jeff Jarrett versus Sean Morley in a loser goes to the elimination match. The loser of this match, which is Sean Morley, Jeff Jarrett picks him with a quick cradle because I don't really want any of them having finishers right now. They're going to win with technical moves rather than hitting a move. They're going to hit like with a roll up, a cradle, a technical pin. That's going to be the plan for this tournament for now. But it's Jeff Jarrett who picks up the win. Gets a 38 for Jarrett, a 36 for Morley, a 27 overall. It doesn't get dinged for not being important because we put Sergeant Slaughter at ringside. No, we didn't. Wait, why hasn't this got pinged? I mean, seriously, neither of these two are both unimportant. Very unimportant. But, okay, 27 rating, I mean, it's still dreadful, but I think it did get pinged, it's not telling me, because those two ratings don't add up to 27 with how little negatives there were. Neither of them are really happy with their gimmick, but hell, we're going to be changing it in a few months anyway, if we keep them. And now, once again, I've got to leave the game to show you something, because we get Vince McMahon on the stage, on his sort of platform where he used to stand to... I'm thinking the Wrestling Classic in 1985, when they had Vince McMahon on the balcony there with the tournament graphics. Well, not actual graphics, but you know what I mean. So now we are going to run you through the King of the Ring graphics. And here we are. On your screen you can see the 8 people that have been selected to be in King of the Ring. Our first matchup, he's debuting tonight, and He's entered straight into the ring. It's Karma, and he is going to be taking on Warlord. Dr. Death Steve Williams will take on the Berserker John Nord, representing Fujigoon. He returned last tonight, but we already knew he was going to be here, and he'd put his name forward to be King of the Ring. Bob Backlund versus the newest member of the Hart Family, Carl Ouellette, and the British Bulldog versus Tatanka. Leave your predictions in the description, in the comments even, for this tournament. I'm not going to tell you who are wrong, just like I've not been telling you who's right or wrong with the mystery attackers. Just like I've not been telling you who's right or wrong with the boot camp. It's quite simple. I'm not going to tell you, but it's fun. I can see what your predictions are. The first two matches, which will be Karma and the Warlord and the British Bulldog, will take place on next week's episode of Superstars. We get a segment with the Smoking Guns, who also have graphics. And it's with Slick, their new manager. And he's talking about how he has made a major difference straight away. The WWF is not going to be looking forward to the arrival of the new Smoking Guns. They're going to be better. They're going to be stronger. And last week, they showed it. They're the future of the tag team division. And that is a fact. Guns up. Gets 64 rating. Good promo. Slick's a good promo at this point. He's didn't really and also has been complaining to me every week about not being on TV. So we paired him up with the Guns. Bit of fun. Gene Okerlund interviews Sean Morley and Duke Drose ahead of their match at Saturday night's main event. Exciting stuff. The loser of that match will be going home from the tournament. For one of you gentlemen, this is the end of your journey. And Sean Morley and Duke Drose sort of face off, have a little bit of a rough and tumble, but they get separated. There's nothing majorly physical. Just for shoves. And they know there's a lot on this to say. Dr. Death Steve Williams chatted about being in King of the Ring. He's got a match up next, and he's saying that I'm going to add to my tag team title. I'm going to defend it tomorrow night. High Voltage, you guys don't stand a chance. Okay? I'm going to add to my title with a King of the Ring trophy. And then, I'm going to cash it in for a World Championship shot at SummerSlam. And Hogan, or whoever the champion is at that point, I think my other shoulder here needs a pretty little belt to match this one. He comes out for his match, and he loses. Koko Beware beats him. Which, is going to cause a little bit of questions, like, hold on, you've just put him in a tournament where the prize is a number one contendership spot for either the Intercontinental Championship or the World Championship, and you've had him lose straight away. Yes, I have, because this is the story for now. Like, Koko Beware and Owen Hart needed a bit of momentum. Terry Gordy refused to lose to Owen Hart last week, and Koko Beware was willing to be put over. And yeah, putting over Steve Williams. Steve Williams was willing to do it. So I went with this one. I knew Steve Williams was going to be in King of the Ring, but this is part of the character. And this will boost Koko's story. Like, there's a lot of stuff which can just happen just from this one result. But let's move on. Yet, a post-match promo, and it is high voltage. They're chatting about how they are going to win at tomorrow night. They're going to win the tag team titles. They are satisfied. They believe they have completely solved all of their problems. That they are done with the Samoans. They're done. And that's they get to move on, and the tag team titles will show that. Gets a 45 rating. Karma. We said he's making his debut. And we finally get a great MMA fighter gimmick. Brilliant stuff. It definitely gets the better than the voodoo Papa Shango, because I didn't get. I'm not a Papa Shango. I wasn't a kid at the time. I don't understand. I didn't get Papa Shango. It's just something which looks so cheesy. Gets a 67 rating. Not too bad though, and he goes straight into his match. And there's a hilarious bit of context to this. Karma picks up the win in 2 minutes 21, squashing El Matador. But the reason why he's El Matador is the person who loses because of an interesting little tidbit from the last Saturday Night main event. Now, you remember the 3 dark matches I had? Well, one of them was El Matador versus Papa Shango. Meaning El Matador was the last ever person to face Papa Shango. Now, Matador won that match. But Karma comes back, and just to show how much he has changed, he is going to beat the person who beat him in his previous gimmick. A nice little round circle. It was a dark match, so the audience don't know what I'm on about, but you guys do. I do. The Undertaker is in his lair, and he's stopped making the coffin. He just looks up. He says, "Hogan, we have warned you time and time again, and you didn't listen to us. You wanted to focus on the Flairs. You wanted to focus on the Shawn Michaelses. You wanted to focus on the Lex Lugers. And you forgot about me. Well, I've done warning you now. Punishment is now due. And Hogan, I will make you regret not listening to me when you had the chance. You will rest in peace." Good. Take a promo. The combination of 4 weeks of vignettes, essentially. We've been building this up, and we are now going to get into the serious feud, eventually. Bulldog is happy to be in the King of the Ring, and he is looking forward to being able to win. He wants to win this tournament, and he wants to go on and win a title in his home country at SummerSlam in London at Wembley Stadium. He's excited about that. And Bulldog will prove to the British people, we never give up. 72 rating, it's a decent promo. Lex Luger quickly defeats Crush as Crush works his way down the pecking order after coming back with the big 1 week feud, essentially, with Ric Flair. We're just now having Ric Flair's stablemates beat him now as well. Goes 4 minutes, torture rack, Luger gets a 65, 46, full Crush. 43 overall, not bad, not amazing. Fujigoon cut a promo, and look, they've also got a graphic. It's not technically a Fujigoon, it's called the graphic, it's called the Disciples of Fuji. But, you know, it's Close enough. And they're saying that Yokozuna was offered to be in King of the Ring. But Yokozuna's not ready yet. And that's Fuji saying that. He's not ready because Yokozuna doesn't know when enough's enough. He's not ready because, could you imagine 7 other superstars having to deal with Yokozuna? We'd have an injury crisis. These are big names according to the management. Yokozuna loves to win, but he has been blocked from this tournament because they're too scared to put him in it, because they're too scared to see what Yokozuna could do. Yokozuna could pile them up and put them down. But he's not the only one. Because they massively underestimate John Nord if they think he isn't exactly like the monster Yokozuna. John Nord will just as quickly kill a man to get ahead in his career. So don't try and think you've saved your wrestlers by making this change. You've still sentenced them to death. And trust me, it's not going to be a pretty sight. Legion of Doom beat the Beverly Brothers, gets a quick little victory, 3.5 minutes. Flying clothesline, don't even need the Doomsday device. Look at that, they're dominant. Simon Savage defeats Bob Bradley. Quick squash match, goes literally less than a minute. Savage picks him up and hits the Samoan drop. I can pretty much picture this entire match. Bradley runs in and tries to hit a running clothesline straight away and bounces straight off the Savage. Savage kind of does lean back into the corner and he just stares down at Bradley who's bounced off him. He picks him up, tosses him into the ropes, picks it onto his shoulders, Samoan drop. That is it. That's the entire match. I don't think it even goes 57 seconds. Screw it. I'm going to be even 27 seconds. That's all it takes. I think it probably took me longer to explain it than the match would actually take. But 52 rating. And then we get a Bob Backlund interview with Gene Okerlund. And Backlund's talking about how he knew he was coming back to being the King of the Ring. He told me, I knew this was all planned, but I've been watching the product recently, and I've been noticing Iron Sheik attacking random people backstage. And Sheik, I have unfinished business with you. You took what made my life meaningful for years. You took my World Heavyweight Championship from me almost a decade ago. I'm not happy. I've been brewing on this for 10 years. And then to see you going around attacking people who don't deserve it. Cheap J Strongbow has never done shit to you. Okerlund gets quite, language, and actually cuts off Backlund and takes him away. We cut away from Backlund. Okerlund shuts him up because he says shit. Gets a 70 rating. Are we starting to go a bit more edgier? Rick Martel gets a quick victory over Brian Costello. Goes less than a minute again. Good stuff. Gets a 59 rating. Warlord talking about being in King of the Ring. He's excited. He's technically part of the Islanders now, despite being American. But he's not really been used much. I think he's up against in the first round. So we'll try and we'll say that he starts talking about Kama in this promo, talk about how this whole fake MMA stuff doesn't scare me. I will beat you, Kama. And I will send you back down south to that stupid voodoo cave you crawled out of. Now we're acknowledging that Kama is a Shango. So, I don't know if that's a good idea, but we are. And the main event sees Bret Hart defeat the Mountie by pinfall. I'm going to change this straight away. Give me a second. Bret Hart defeats the Mountie by pinfall after Shawn Michaels runs in and hits the Mountie with sweet chin music to make defense number 11 of the Intercontinental Championship. And 89 for Bret, 75 for the Mountie. Gets a 79 overall, which I think is better than their January match. I'm not certain. But so I want to make this clear. Bret Hart does not know Shawn Michaels has done this. He just turns around. Shawn Michaels slides into the ring. We'll say like the Hart family are interfering at ringside. Bret Hart's leaning over the ropes, shouting at them. The referee's trying to deal with Jimmy Hart. The Nasty Boys are there, and we'll have the Natural Disasters come out and brawl with them. Carl Ouellette's up there trying to interfere on the behalf of the Mountie. And they're all dealing with that, and Shawn Michaels slides into the ring and hits sweet chin music, slides out, and hides underneath the ring. Bret turns around, sees the Mountie on the floor, and is like, okay, and quickly dives in to cover him. 1, 2, 3. That's it. The Mountie's obviously going to be pissed, but we'll get onto that soon. And we get a... Yeah, I did click on it. 76. That's what our weakest episode of Superstars for quite a while. We didn't have any of our major big promos, which is a massive shame. I don't know. So we've got Saturday night's main event next. But what did you guys think? That's so much more important than what the game thinks. I'm excited for the Saturday night's main event, and I hope you guys are too. I'll see ya next time. Goodbye.